If you have a small amount of time daily to work on your first touch, these are 3 ball positions you must focus on. And here's exactly how to do so with a ball and a wall. No equipment, no cones, just a bowl, a wall, and your bum touch. From easiest to hardest, here are 4 components to level up your first touch. The first would be the position of the ball. On the ground, on the half volley, or on the full volley. The second being the distance you are from the wall. The closer you are, of course, the easier it is to work on that first touch. The third being the amount of touches that you have when the ball is coming at you. Less touches equals harder technique. And lastly, using the blind foot. Working on the weak foot is very hard, however, it's needed at the highest level. Remember to always have structure when going into your solo sessions, especially if it's just you, a ball, and a wall. Having that structure will help you develop faster. Please like and subscribe, as we do have those solo sessions within our YouTube channel. We'll go from easiest to hardest. So the first technique we'll do is on ground with 2 touches, same foot inside the foot off the wall. I don't have the best setup here. I have some gravel, but at the end of the day, what you have to utilize to your best ability. Touch and play, okay? So sometimes the wall doesn't really give you a good pass, but still important to play the ball hard and see if it can pass back a little bit harder. So nice and simple there. What I would recommend, maybe doing 30 reps each side. Back in the day in my off-season and pre-seasons, before college or pro, I would range from 50 to 100 reps each side. And what I'm noticing right now, just going off this wall and the gravel, that I'll probably back up just a tad bit, just to help the wall pass back towards me a little bit better. And that way I can ping it in a little bit harder. In terms of the foot that's playing the ball, we're trying to create that 90-degree angle. If I'm playing with my right foot, my left foot is pointing towards where the ball is going, and my right foot is on that 90-degree going through the ball while my leg is straight. You can bend it right before, but as you go through, you try to straighten up that leg. Again, we're focusing on the easiest first. So more touches, easier it is. On the ground, easier it is as well. This next one will utilize the sole of the foot. So we're gonna receive with one foot, go across the body, and then play. Something to focus on when using the sole of the foot is that as we roll the ball across, our foot goes behind the ball rather than in front. I see this is difficult for some young developing footballers, where most of the time they think of it as like a roll scissor, or roll step over, I should say. Whereas it's a roll and then it's going in front of that foot. We'll focus on the rhythm here a lot. Again, utilizing the gravel makes it difficult a little bit, but try our best in terms of receiving and playing. You can even play a little bit slower. So what I'm noticing while passing the ball is that the gravel is making the ball bounce a little bit. So I'm having to judge the weight of the pass. Moving on to changing up the touch, and then also the pass that we play as well. So this time we'll receive with the outside foot, and then again, play with that same foot, but now we're gonna use the laces to play the ball through. It'll be a little bit difficult to play with the laces and then receive with the other foot. So maybe you can just do one foot, then do the other foot. Depends on how accurate your pass is. So play, touch, and play. Here we're trying to get that backspin. Again, we're staying on the ground for the pass and the touch. One thing I see that young players struggle with a lot is trying to lock that ankle as they try to receive. At the end of the day, we're trying to flex this calf and the soleus so that our ankle doesn't do this when we touch the ball. We gotta keep that ankle locked. I would even suggest pointing the toe to the sky and then pushing through the ball first, just to get used to the type of technique with the outside foot, because this is something that a lot of young players struggle with. So again, we play, get that backspin, push through. As we take the touch, what I generally say is take that touch at a 45-degree angle to get the most power and accuracy. This is our straight line in front. 45 degrees would be around right here to get more power and accuracy on the pass that we play. All right, next technique we'll use, we're switching the amount of touches. We'll go to one touch and we'll utilize the inside of the foot, the laces, and also the outside of the foot. Now, the laces and outside of the foot are gonna be our hardest techniques, but those are more so for the young players that we have watching these videos, because most of the time that ankle stiffness is not there for you guys, unfortunately. So we actually have to strengthen that calf and soleus muscle so that we can point that toe straight down and through the ball. Here's inside the foot, one touch. Again, here we're trying to get that backspin. How we do that backspin is following through with that straight leg. What I would recommend doing in terms of reps is 100 on each foot. And if it pops up like that, again, adjust, try to see how fast, how quickly you can go back to the ground. Yep, there it is. Do left foot a little bit. Again, always try to do both feet when you're in your solo sessions, because at the end of the day, if you don't have a weak foot at the highest level, you will be exposed pretty quickly. Okay, just to teach you guys this technique of one touch through, we're trying to hit the center of the ball right here. And once we follow through, just like mentioned previously, you straighten that leg through the ball while punching it. And what I mean by punching it is we're gonna punch the ball and then stop the leg. So it's like we're pushing through and then coming back quickly. The grass stops the foot from somewhat coming backwards. So just like that. Okay, last two techniques with on ground, just with one touch. We definitely need somewhat of a flat surface to go through the ball. I just tried it over there on the gravel. Doesn't really work. So you need that flat surface. If this is turf, even better. But honestly, you just have to deal with the surroundings that you have. This next one, we'll go laces through the ball. Again, this one is more so for that ankle stiffness of my young developing footballers. Because if you don't have this ankle stiffness, then utilizing the techniques on the half volley or full volley are going to be very difficult for you. And again, you got to utilize both feet. I would recommend 100 reps on each side for your solo sessions. Just look at my left foot compared to my right foot in terms of ankle stiffness as well, okay? I notice that I can't point my toe down like this. I actually have to angle it a little bit more because this left ankle is kind of cheeks, I'm not gonna lie, okay? So again, we're trying to lock that ankle all the way through. And what I mean by locking the ankle is pointing the toe down so that as you strike through the ball, you're not flimsy. You'll notice the difference of being flimsy with your ankle versus being actually locked and pointed towards the ground. Again, if my knee is above my ankle at this point, I want my toe to go down. So the angle of my knee to the ankle, it can't be like this, it has to be like this as I go through the bowl. That knee can stay at that same spot. It's not moving up or down, but my foot is going forward and back. I'll tell you when my ankle is flimsy or not. Right there. Gotta really push through the bowl and point that ankle down. Again, this is my blind foot, trying to push through that bowl. All right, last one here in terms of on-ground technique. We're gonna face one shoulder towards the wall that we're playing at, and we're gonna push through the bowl. It's gonna feel awkward at first, but still an important technique because at times the ball comes and you have to flick the ball to the right or left of you. So here, we're pushing through the bowl, back and forth. We're trying to get our feet sorted for that next pass. Again, start off slow so that you can go a little bit faster. Here, again, you're focusing on that ankle stiffness, going through the ball. And you'll see the difference in terms of power and technique as well. As you see, a little bit difficult with that slant. But again, be structured with your solo sessions, okay? Important to do so. Next one, different position of the ball, half volleys. I've spoken with hundreds of parents, and what I've seen the most in terms of players in the U12 to U16 category is that they struggle with the half volley and full volley touches. So this is definitely something to utilize within your solo sessions as well. So what I would recommend is doing some juggling in between, and after the ball hits the ground, you're trying to juggle again. It's a nice and simple drill, right? You're trying to hit it on the half volley, upwards to the wall, so it passes back to you. So basically, you're working on that full volley touch as well, which we'll do a little bit later. One thing to really focus on the half volleys is as you go through the bowl, make sure that you're breathing, okay? I would recommend exhaling as you go through the bowl. We're still trying to utilize the straight leg approach, okay, as you go through the bowl. And when the ball comes back, you'll get it in different areas. You just have to adjust. That's why having bowl wall time is super important. So all we're doing is flicking it up to ourselves. Right after it bounces, we're taking a touch on the ball. This is with the inside of our foot. We'll do the laces right after this. The higher the ball goes, the more difficult it is to pass with the half volley, okay? So again, the lower the ball goes, for my young footballers out there, I can even recommend letting the ball bounce a couple times and then playing the ball right after that. So you juggle, let the ball bounce, 1, 2, and then pass right through the ball. Next one we'll do is the laces half volley pass as you go through the ball, okay? A big thing to focus on here is pointing that toe down and trying to find that sweet spot on the wall whatever that sweet spot is on that wall. Again, for my young and developing footballers, double bounce, and then you can go through the ball. Ooh. Try to receive the ball with various parts of the body here as well, just so you're not just utilizing the feet. Watch out for the splice here as well. Take a look at where I hit the ball, okay? And if I hit towards the left side of the ball, I get that splice right there, or my ankle is turned. So there's two aspects to be careful of when going through with the half volley laces. There it is. Alrighty, the last technique that we'll focus on is full volley. We'll use the inside of the foot, the outside of the foot, and maybe the top of the foot to receive while the ball is in the air the whole time. So here, we can, again, focus on the touches or the distance that we have with the wall, okay? What I would recommend is going inside, inside, right? As we play with the wall with more touches, okay? Again, try to find that sweet spot with the wall as you're playing back and forth with it. That was a little bit too high. Hit off the top of the roof over there. Okay. In addition, with finding that sweet spot, focusing on your touch, there may be times where the ball doesn't go where you want it to go. So this is a time to really kind of curve that ankle so that your touch goes upwards once you take a touch on the ball. I'll try and show you guys. Yeah, right there. Okay, so I curled that foot up so it's like a tabletop as the ball goes straight up after my touch. I would also recommend acting like you're about to pass the ball with this inside foot. Full volley touch for this. So I'm acting as I'm passing it, but then my foot goes into this figure four, so it goes straight upwards on the touch.
Inside of the foot, a little bit more difficult. We can either lessen the touches or use the weak foot.
Okay.
Here we'll just lessen the touches. We'll go 2 touch each foot off the wall. Again, this is a little bit harder, but having that structure of easiest to hardest is really important within first touch.
And the hardest level to this is just using 1 touch back and forth with the wall. Left foot. All right, utilizing the outside of the foot to take the touch. We can divvy up the pass as well. Play with the laces, receive outside foot. Ooh, laces, outside foot. Good. Again, playing with the laces, a little bit more difficult, okay, for that first touch, but still important to use. If you can do this in less touches, then by all means, definitely do it. Okay, the components from easiest to hardest, again, would be distance here, and would also be playing with the weak foot, and those are the three: less touches, playing with weak foot, and then the distance that you have. Hey, If you struggle with the outside foot touch, what I would recommend is getting lower in order to make this outside foot a tabletop, just like I've mentioned with the inside of the foot. So if I'm touching with the right foot, I'm getting really low on this left leg, just so, as you can see, if I try to put my foot up here, I have inflexible hips, so trying to get that tabletop from here is difficult. I would recommend getting low to the ground and then trying to pick that foot up as you take that touch. So we're playing with the laces, get low to get that touch, okay? Even more so on the blind foot to get that tabletop that we want. Again, we mentioned going from easiest to hardest, on ground to half volleys to now full volleys. This one we're using the top of the foot for the touch. You can play it however you want there. I would recommend divvying it up a little bit, half volleys to the wall or full volleys to the wall, and then taking the touch with the top of the foot. Here we have less surface area, so your ankle stiffness must be there, and focusing on the ball is probably the most important aspect, because this is the only thing that's moving, okay? So again, farther away, a little bit more difficult. We'll play, use the top of the foot to take a touch. So I probably need to go a little bit further back. Lock that ankle, breathe as much as you can on this touch, okay? Again, recommend a lot of reps for this, all right? Less touches equal harder, more touches equal easier. Here's a little bonus touch for you guys. I call it the Neymar touch. You can call it whatever you want. I know that he did this a lot at Santos, and honestly, any team that he played for. So as the ball comes, we take a touch, just like Neymar. Yesu. Hi. Yes. Again, I would also recommend for this one, since it's a little bit more difficult touch, bending that knee, the opposite knee, as much as you can to get that tabletop on the foot that you're taking the touch with. And this one you can take a touch two ways, I've noticed. With the heel, okay, like that, or with the inside of the foot. Lower. There it is. Again, this is just a fun touch to do. You don't need this within your wall ball session, but gotta have fun with footy a little bit. Guys, thanks again for watching this wall ball session with me. Be sure to like and subscribe. for future content just like this. Before playing professionally, I didn't know how important it was to go to a field alone and do your technical solo sessions just like this. A ball and a wall is all you need. Parents and players, you can actually stay on this YouTube channel to get this content for free, or go to our app, account.homegrown-app.com. This is where you can track your players' development in 4 ways: the technical, tactical, physical, and mental approaches of the game. The 4 pillars of football. We have seen 20 to 50% improvement in just utilizing film analysis at least 5 times within a 2-month duration. We conducted this study and found that type of improvement in scanning, body orientation, receiving on the back foot, time on the ball, so confidence, and if that player was moving and progressing the ball forward. For coaches, this app is used for your scheduling and payments. You focus on the on-field side, while we have our pros, ex-pros, and UEFA licensed coaches take care of the film analysis side of things. We know your schedule is busy, so we want to help in that specific way. Guys, again, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you guys at the next. Guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you guys at the next YouTube video. Peace.